Hey, what's up, you guys? So, I wanted to do this quick little message here because I've been listening to a lot of the Jocko Willink. He has like such a deep voice, and I just woke up this morning, so I've got a deep voice too. So I'm going to use it to talk about Jocko. There's this thing that, and for those of you guys who aren't familiar with who Jocko Willink is, he was a Navy SEAL who led Navy SEALs. So it's like, bam, the top echelon of leadership guy right there. And he runs a company where he actually like leads businesses and teams to implement the different leadership strategies that he learned while being a Navy SEAL. In war, everything is just so amplified with emotions and decision-making and things like that. So he's been able to translate those lessons that business leaders can implement when they're leading their teams. But there's this thing that he talks about where there's this guy, he comes up, he's like, Jocko, got this bad situation going on. We were supposed to get these brand new weapons, and they didn't come in, so we still got the old ones that we got. And Jocko would look at the guy and he'd be like, good. And he's like, good, what do you mean? And he's just like, good. We're just gonna, we're already familiar with the old guns, so we're just gonna use those. And then like a week goes by, another problem comes up. They're like, Jocko, wow, we had these plans for doing this one maneuver, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna work out. And he's like, good. He's like, good, what do you mean? He's like, good, we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Maybe this time we'll come up with a better plan. Some time goes by, a guy comes back, Jocko, we got another problem, and blah, 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 and, it's going to be very devastating. And then he's like, but before you would say anything, I already know what you're going to say. What am I going to say? It's like, you're going to say good. That's what you always say. Every time I bring up a problem, you're always like, good. And I'm probably going to butcher his reasoning behind why he says good in the face of problems, but every problem, man, it's just like one of those things where it's an opportunity where you can get bitter or you can get better type of thing. And that's the thing that I always try to keep at the forefront of my mind, where, problems and challenges, like, they suck. They ain't easy. Growth doesn't come from things being easy. You're in the gym, and the point at which you start making those improvements and you start making those gains is when you've gotten yourself to a position where you feel tired, or you've gotten yourself to a position where your muscles sore, or they're like, feeling tight. That doesn't happen by being lazy. It doesn't happen from things being easy. And I've been taking these like boxing classes. You get to the point where you're doing you're doing your jabs and your jabs and your jabs and jabs, and you're like, oh my gosh, you start getting tired. But you know what? When you started, did you feel tired? And when I'm doing my punches and stuff, it's like minutes are going by, and then oh man, now my arms are starting to get tired. I just put in minutes of work to get to that point. You earned that. When you start putting in that work at the gym, or you're running on the treadmill, and you're 15 minutes in and you start feeling tired, guess you earned that tired. You didn't walk in tired. Well, maybe you did walk in tired because you woke up early. But even then, it's like you woke up early and you're feeling tired. You know what? You earned that tired because you woke up early. Now, if you're feeling tired because you stayed up late and you didn't get the sleep you needed, or let's say maybe you were drinking a bit or something, let's say you're doing things that as a consequence led to you feeling the way that you do, then, that might not be a positive thing. But you know what I got to say to that? Good. That's just a challenge that when you figure out a way to overcome that mentally, you can overcome the next one. It's like when you're able to detach yourself from those feelings and those thoughts, then you're able to better approach those feelings and those thoughts. With working at Amazon, for example, started at 6:30 p.m. last night, and then it got to be around like 11 p.m. and these thoughts started to creep up in my mind where it's like, man, so you feeling tired? I'm feeling tired, man. 11 p.m. I feel tired. I just want to go home. I want to clock out early. You can't. I can't. And I took a step back from my thoughts, and I was like, wait a sec. I was like, oh, hello, thoughts. You feeling tired? Well, guess what, we still gonna be here for another 7 hours. So enjoy the ride, because I'm not going nowhere. Those thoughts crept in. And viewing them, like, it's funny. Like, I'm smiling now because it's just so funny. It's like, who are you? Like, I'm not sitting there and I'm not like, let me consciously make myself be aware of the fact that I want to leave and go home early. No, it's like it just bubbles up and it just appears. It's like, man, it's early. I want to clock out. I want to leave. I don't want to do this work. I want to quit this job. Screw this. I don't need to do this. And it's like, oh, hi there. Hi there, thoughts. Welcome to Alec's body. While you're here, guess what? You're going to stay here for another 7 hours. So if you want to stick around, by all means, do so. But guess what? We ain't leaving. We're not going nowhere. We're going to keep putting in the work. And it's just, I don't know. It was a funny thing. And guess what happened? Oh, where did that thought go? You're not here no more? Yeah, it was too much for you. Get out of here, bitch. Like, that's the inner bitch. Wanted to poke its head in, look around a little bit. And I was like, nah, you're not going to like it here. So it left. I don't know. This is funny, but So that's easy for me to say, oh, challenges, opportunities to get better, yay. But when you are in the middle of it, it's tough. A lot of times, just, less is more. Just get up, get going, get after it. Don't let those things linger. Like, I feel like a lot of us, we get those, or back in school and stuff, get those nightmares, oh, the test, we forgot to study for the test. It's that's a lingering thing. The test is a representation of a problem that is inevitable. It's going to be coming. When you focus on that, you're going to feel stressed, but it's focus on the actions you can do. So for a test example, study for the damn thing. Man, I'm so worried about this test, 'cause I don't understand the topic. Well, understand the topic, get to know it. You being aware of the fact that you don't know the things is a phenomenal first step. It's a phenomenal first place to be at, because you're being real and you're being honest with yourself. I'm going to try to open up, be vulnerable a bit. The reason I had the thought of talking about these topics and doing these things is because one of the greatest ways that we can learn to grow and develop ourselves is by being around other people. Yeah, bear with me for a minute, but the people, and no offense to these people, but it's the person that's the quote unquote monk that isolates himself from people, and they go up in the mountain and they're just isolated and they're by themselves. It's that's the easy part. People, we are so flawed, and avoiding a major problem people and social interactions, that's not going to challenge you. It's not going to grow you. Yeah, I had a situation earlier where someone who I've been talking with for a bit, it's I'm trying to think in my mind how I can balance out being honest with you guys while also not being too detailed, because I'm not talking about this isn't a platform for me to be talking about my relationships and stuff with you guys. Yeah, they had reached out to me. They were saying some stuff that was very challenging for me as just my character, my person. And I wanted to respond a lot. I wanted to write a message back, being super detailed and defending myself in a sense. And then that was the first thing. I was well, you don't need to defend yourself. And then the second thought of be appreciative of the fact that they are being open and they're being real and they're being honest with you. Because this person ghosting, and you got to get to a point where you realize okay, not that I'm going extremely out of my way to try to talk with this person and initiate things with this person, but it's a healthy level of hey, what's going on and blah, 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 because you care about them. But then recognizing the fact that it's okay, hey, if they don't like you anymore, or if they don't want you to be around them, if they don't want you to talk to them, that's just where they're at. That's what they're feeling. So give them that space. Obviously, it's as soon as I do give them that space, now it's all this stuff's opening up, all this stuff that I had on their mind. And I'm just sitting here and I'm this is what I've wanted for a while. Not for you to be upset at me or for you to say all these things that are hurting my feelings. What I've wanted is just communication. And now it's happening. All the stuff they're saying is stuff that's very challenging. Be focused on those things that can make you feel worse, or just recognize the fact that maybe these are things that you should be aware of that can help you grow. And viewing it from that light of okay, bam, another opportunity to grow, another opportunity to develop your character, another opportunity to just be mature in this type of situation, not be overly invested, detach yourself from the situation and try to view it from the outside, and also be thankful with the relationships that are good. Be thankful with the relationships, people that are pouring into you, and the relationships where you can pour into other people. And I don't know, it was just interesting, because it's went from that space of feeling super down, and it's kind of upset and contemplative and thinking just how things could have been and where they could have gone from that place to then thinking and feeling just like you're leveling up in a sense. It's so freeing. Literally, I was viewing that opportunity, this situation as it's an opportunity for me to actually really grow as a person. It just feels all right, this is a lesson, this is a test, and the test to help prepare me for the greater things to come. I was almost I'm thinking, yeah, give me that crown, bitch. Give the king his crown. Overcoming that type of thing. And I mean, honestly, the situation is not resolved or nothing. I told them, I was clearly this last stuff we got to get off our chests, and this is just something I think we should talk about in person. And whether they accept that invitation or not, I've got no attachment to outcome there. Literally just I'm not going to go out of my way to keep initiating conversations with them or go out of my way to see them in person and stuff, because for a while now it's been a thing where it just felt they don't want me around. And it's hey, you don't want me around, all right, I'm not going to force myself into these situations, and that's cool. Go do your own thing. For me, I'm gonna do my own thing. Finding ways to enjoy life on one's own terms, comfortable in one's own skin of just doing your own thing, is a phenomenal gift. For a minute there, I was reliant on my happiness being dependent on being around this other person, or what this other person might think of me and things like that. Now, obviously, don't go around being a dick. To a certain extent, it's you really can't care what other people are thinking about you. Now, those things are if someone says something and it does kind of trigger something internally inside of you, just view it as a reflect, almost you're looking in the mirror and you're oh, you know what? I didn't like what was being said there, but maybe it's a reflection of something that rings true within me. It's all just an opportunity to reflect and to grow. At the end of the day, when these problems come up, you know what you got to say? Good. Then I'm going to go push some weights, get the blood pumping, get the heart rate up, feel good, look good, keep doing good. And when those problems come up, you know what you got to say? Good. All right, guys, I'll catch you around. Peace.